Hey, welcome back to an episode of Instagram Podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and as always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Howdy.
How you doing, man?
I'm so good. How are you, partner?
Pretty good. What's with the accent?
I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2.
No, you haven't, you fucking piece of shit.
I haven't.
I really want
But
to.
I have been encouraged to watch the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and I've really embraced the whole Western persona.
Yeah, that's why you're wearing that big old cowboy hat.
Yeah, mostly just the chaps.
Yeah.
I'm all about them chaps.
Assless chaps.
No, they got ass.
You got ass.
I got ass.
They're assless. You provide the ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So this week on the Instagram podcast, we're going to be talking about a little movie called Fireworks. It came out a hot minute ago, but guess what? It just came out on Blu-ray DVD. Just came out on Amazon Prime. So guess who watched it?
We did.
Yeah. Good guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a pretty good guesser.
You are.
Yeah. I'm really good at 20 questions.
If I had to choose somebody to guess something, it would be you.
If I had to choose someone not to guess something, it'd be Sierra.
Okay, let's get into this then. Let's do a deep dive on your relationship, on why you would never have Sierra guess something.
She's not. I don't know. She's not good at it. Like I love playing. Like I love playing 20 questions. Like it's one of my favorite things to do. Just to like, hey, I'm thinking of something. Like, cool. Fucking try to guess it. Like, you know?
Do you want to play a hot game of 20 questions?
Sure. Let's do it. Yeah.
All right. So
You need to think of something.
I'm thinking of it.
Okay, think of it.
All right.
You good?
Yeah.
Is it anime?
No.
Is it a video game?
No.
Is it something that we watch?
No.
Is it something that you eat?
No.
Is it something that you do?
No.
Oh man, it's hard. Is it is it a noun?
Yes.
Nice. Is it a living thing?
No.
Is it something in your apartment?
No.
Is it something in my apartment?
No.
Is it something that you and I have had contact with recently?
Recently? No.
Is it Little Tokyo in Japan?
No. So we're on 11.
Yeah, I already guessed. It's everyone did.
Oh, what?
Well, you know, the thing is, you're not supposed to. Once you guess, it's a game over.
You guessed
I
way
got
too
really
quick.
confident.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what the fuck? No, it was December. I was thinking of December. So, Sierra, if you guessed December, congratulations. You're better at guessing than Juan. If you also guessed Little Tokyo.
It's too funny. Man, fuck you. I'm going to have to play more often with you because that's a trip. I never would have thought that you would have picked a month of the year.
You're just like, I'm so fucking confident. This motherfucker doesn't think about concepts. He thinks about things.
Well, it's like, is it a person, place, a thing? And you're like, December is a thing. So it's also a...
Well, you didn't ask if it was a person, place,
I
or
asked
thing.
if it was a noun, which is a person, place, or thing.
Yeah. Which it is.
It is a thing.
I'm like, well, I guess it, yeah.
Anyways, that was a quick 20 questions with your boys. As you can see, Trip 1, Juan 0. So
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, no. What were you talking about?
Guessing.
No, we're talking about Fireworks. This is a newish, I guess it came out this year. Anime that we didn't get a chance to watch because it was airing the same day we were at Anime Expo.
Yeah, it was some fucked up shit
So
where we were
had
trying
to
to go
pick-
see it at a theater, but then there was some like weird stuff going on and we were like, well, we got to go here and we got to do that.
Yeah.
And it would just be too hard to go and see this. And there's
sure.
this special event that we have to go to or whatever it is.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Maybe it was I don't remember for sure because I remember that the trigger panel was when we went to go see the Knights thingy. What's it fucking called?
Medieval Times.
Yeah, thanks. Medieval Times. So yeah.
I know, it must have been something important, I guess. What I wanted to say was, so like plenty of things that you and I do, we went into this not knowing exactly what it was.
I think that having surprises in life is more exciting. That being said, anybody that's listening to an anime podcast to find out what to expect going into something, I respect that too.
It's just funny because I feel like this happens to me, you and I all the time. I'm like, hey, you want to see this movie? And like, yeah, sure. Like we're watching Mirne, whatever. Mirai in a couple days or whatever.
Oh, no fucking clue what
it's about.
But I know enough about it because I know who made it, so I trust it blindly.
Who made it?
Mamoru Hosoda. Hosoda. I don't know. I don't know his name. Girl Who Left Through Time, Boy and the Beast, Summer Wars.
So it's going to be fire, essentially.
Yeah, it's going to be fucking insane.
So
Wolf Children.
We went into Silent Voice like this. We went into Your... No, I don't think we went into Your Name like this.
I didn't know much about Your Name, but I knew enough.
I didn't. I know it was about a boy and a girl and they switch bodies.
Yeah, and then, I was like, Freaky Friday, got it.
Yeah, and then we didn't know much about Anthem of the Heart when we went in this.
No, pretty much nothing. And, well, I mean, what we did know about it is, this is what we thought a Silent Voice was going to be, yeah. But also had no idea that it was going to be about, like, a play or about, this whole egg thing.
Dope-ass egg. Yeah, so we went into Fireworks knowing it was a movie.
Sure was.
And we were going to watch it.
Yep. I did not know the studio who did it until the intro started, and I was like, oh, shit, I know the studio. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's pull back a minute.
Well, yeah, we'll for sure talk about Fireworks in depth.
I'm about to go off on everything that I know about Fireworks.
Yeah, but so that should be fun. And
wait, fun fact: when I was in 6th grade for my science project, I wanted to do it about fireworks. Yeah. Well, very quickly, my teacher was like, "That's dangerous as fuck. No goddamn way." And I was like, "Well, I wasn't gonna make a firework, but like I was
gonna look at them."
So then I was like, dry ice is like fireworks of the earth. So let's do that.
I don't know. I think I've said it on the podcast before, but there's a homie that went to school with Nick Wilson. And I swear to God, he promised me he was going to be a chemist when he grew up because he wanted to be a pyrotechnician.
I know that you and I talked about this once.
Point is, this fucking asshole.
Yeah.
What grade were we in? I think we were juniors. And we're like, I think junior, senior. And we were talking and he's just like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he knew exactly what he wanted to be. He was like,
dude, I got it. Pyrotechnician.
I want to be a pyrotechnician. He's like, I'm learning chemistry. I'm going to go to school for that, learn pyrotechnics. And I'm going to make fireworks. I was like, what? He was like,
you're just like, that's fucking cool.
What's crazy is that I did think that was fucking cool.
Yeah, because he had that ambition. Well, he understood what was going on.
He knew what he wanted to do. He's like, I want to make fireworks. He's like, cool. So I need to be good at chemistry. I need to be good at science. I need to be good at, the engineering aspect to I'm like, wow. And that was his goal. And my whole, and he was also a really cool guy. Like really chill dude, really cool guy. And I really admired that about him. I was like, that's fucking awesome. And then years go by, time passes, people age, just the fucking seasons change, fall,
I feel
all
that
stuff.
Yeah.
I get older. I eventually decide, I'm going to do animation. I start going to it. I see Nick Wilson at the Taco Truck, and I love seeing him. Every time I see him, it's such a good time. He's such a nice guy.
You're like, what up, bro?
How you been, man? Because I knew he went away for school for a while. I was like, cool, man. He's out going to school. He's going to be a pyrotechnician, blah, blah, blah. I see him the most recent time I saw him. I was like, hey, man, how you been? What are you doing? Where are you working? What's going on? He was like, I finished school. I started working. I'm in the Bay or something like that. I'm like, nice. I'm like, you're doing fireworks stuff or whatever. And he's like, and he looks at me like I'm crazy. He looks at me. He goes like, he's like, what? I was like, yeah, you're gonna do fireworks. You're gonna be a pyrotechnician or whatever. You studied, chemistry. And he goes, no, man, I do like environmental stuff. Like I work for a big company and I work on having, making them green and stuff like that. And I look at him like he fucking betrayed me. I was like, you piece of fucking shit. Like you promised me you're going to make shit explode in the sky.
My favorite part about all that too is that like, it's such a drastically different thing. Cause like fireworks are just for the point of like exploding and looking cool.
It's fun, yeah.
It's not environmentally friendly. You're like fucking up the ozone and stuff. You're just putting a bunch of
mercury in the sky.
Yeah, just like fucking awesome, great. But then he goes the complete opposite direction. It's like, I'm keeping people from making fireworks.
It blew my mind because he looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, no, man, I very vividly remember you explaining to me like what you want to do and me being like really jealous about it. And I was like, I thought that was super cool that he knew what he wanted to do and he was going to do it. And props off to him. He went to school. He graduated. He has a great job. He has a great life. He's like in a relationship. He's super happy with his job. He's a happy person. But it really upset me that he didn't do what he was going to do. But he's happy. So like good for him, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I just remember for some reason, every time I think of fireworks, I think of that fucking liar. Piece of shit.
So this whole movie, you were just like, fuck this kid.
Fuck Nick Wilson, his fucking stupid little hands.
Well, I, in a similar thing, running into people that you don't see for a long time, getting excited, right? I've never had like a childhood friend that I've grown up and I'm still friends with, because I've gone through a bunch of shitty friends throughout my life.
Yeah. And then childhood, what age would you mean less than what? Like
elementary school.
Yeah. I think I got one of those, but I don't see him all the time.
Whatever, you still keep in contact or whatever.
If we can. I get what you're saying, but you don't have one of those.
No, I don't have one of those. Okay. So I switched friends a lot, and I had like a really shitty best friend, right? So he fucking sucks.
What would you say you got the solid guys from like after junior high school? You got a solid core of like, people you can talk to?
I got a few people from high school. Met them like freshman year of high school. Actually, I met Eliza in junior high.
And we still see her all the time and talk to her.
I met you in junior high. You don't remember it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's because I was too busy talking to fucking monotone. What's her fucking face? Dumb bitch. What was her name?
Leslie Wynn.
She was super nice, but God.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. We were like really good homies, but whatever.
I liked her a lot, except I hated talking to her because she was just like, that is so funny. That is like super cool. Like, dude, bitch, show some emotion. But yeah, so apparently we were introduced. I don't remember.
We've told the story a couple of times on the podcast. You were wearing a suit, and then I was like, "What up? I'll walk you to class, Leslie, whatever." And then you were there, and you were like, "Oh, fucking monotone ass motherfucker." And I'm like, "Who's this guy?" And she's like, "It's Juan.
This is Juan. He sucks.
He thinks that I'm monotone, and I'm not, because I'm like, nah, dude, you're totally not monotone. Looking at you like,
fucker.
Man, you're putting me in a weird place right now. That she's my buddy, but clearly she has like a sensitive spot. You could tell from the inflection of her voice.
Could you tell from the inflection of her voice?
If you were a true friend,
I mean, where are we now? Where's Leslie Wynn now? Is Leslie Wynn in your apartment recording an anime podcast with you?
I think maybe she is. I don't know.
Come on out, Leslie Wynn.
Let's go back to the original thing when I was saying about not having a childhood friend, all that stuff. So I had a few friends in like the last years of elementary school. We all kind of hung out and talked or whatever all throughout elementary school. But then our 6th grade class, where we were going to graduate that year, we had a like big old graduation party, and we all had this core group of friends. And out of them, one friend, my best friend from being a kid, no idea where he's at. I don't know. He did like a ton of drugs. His parents sent him off to some other school. Yeah, like fucked up stuff. So he went to like Montana and lived with his grandma and did a bunch of weird shit. Whatever. That's all him. He's gone. I had another friend. She moved up to Idaho. Her mom was going to be a private investigator or something in Idaho. And I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. All right, cool. We kept in contact for a little bit, but she disappeared sometime 7th or 8th grade. But I had a few more friends where we all went to the same school. But we kind of stopped being friends because we had different classes. So they made a bunch of friends that I wasn't in with. And they were a part of the popular group at that time. They were like the popular kids in elementary school. And we were all cool with each other. And then finally, like, I got in with that popular crowd at the end. And anyways, totally lost contact with them. We still went to high school with them. I like knew them. We were all cordial, but we just didn't hang out or anything like that, right?
There wasn't friendship there. It was just like,
exactly.
We're all right with each other. Yeah,
exactly. Nothing wrong. But I hadn't seen them in for fucking ever. I found out that one of them actually lives at my apartments. So I manage her apartments, and she had a couple of packages that were left in the office. Never got to see her. I called her like twice about them, and I didn't see her when she picked them up. She won a pie for our Thanksgiving pie giveaway. She won a pie. She came and picked it up on my day that I was off.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to see her, right? But 2 days later, I go to the movies, and I happen to run into the other two people from my group. So nice. I run into my friends Diva and Brixie. And I know
those are odd names.
Yeah, that's the fucking thing about them, right?
I'm Brixie, see? Like, it's like
Brixie's a girl.
I just imagine Brixie twiddling her mustache.
She's pretty cool. So I ran into them and I was like, oh shit, like Diva, what's up? I haven't seen you in forever, man. Like he looks way different.
Oh, Diva's a guy?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on with this world?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like weird shit, right? So then I see him. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Just catching up. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to New York in a couple of days and that's where I'm going to be living. I'm like, oh shit,
you want
to
come? And you're like, yes.
Yeah, of course I do. Fuck my life here. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. And then Brixie shows up. I'm like, oh shit, what's up, Brixie? Like, how have you been? This is so weird. This is crazy. Really excited to see them. And then I tell them, like, Shalise lives at my apartments.
What fucking kind of name are these? Hold on, we're talking about Brixie, Diva, and Shalise. No wonder you didn't fit in. Your name is Christopher. It's like, guys, this guy's name is way too normal.
I was like, hang on.
With them.
It's with a K. And they were like, he's in. Bring him in. And so anyways, I saw them and I was like, yeah, Shalise lives at my apartments, but I never see her. And they're like, oh, that's so crazy. That's so weird. Because we were just going to go hang out with Shalise like in a couple of days. Like we were just hitting her up today. I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. Well, if you do see her, like tell her I say hi or whatever. And she's having her car. I know about things now. She's having her car worked on. And she forgot to take her house key off of her keys, right?
What an idiot.
So she came into the office and she's like, hey, so this is the situation. And yeah. And then the girl that's helping her, like, I'm just on my computer doing the work that I have to do. And she's like, sure, what's your apartment number? And what's your name? And she's like, Shalise. And I'm like, hey, dude, I'm Chris Triplet. And she's like, I thought it was you, but I didn't want to say anything. And then we like reconnected for a second. And I'm like, yeah, no fun. We were friends in elementary school. I don't know what the fuck you became. That's like, crazy, it's crazy. Man. Yeah. And she's like teaching kids and stuff. It was just such a surreal thing to reconnect with all these people within the same week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Must be a sign. I don't know what the sign is.
I don't fucking know what it is, but it was really trippy. I just had a weird ass time with that.
I feel you, man. That's wild. Like
super exciting.
I mean, the only buddy I feel like the oldest friend I have is Kenny, and you know, from like 5th grade, and we're still really good friends, but I think he's in Montana or something like that. He's in the military. He's got like a wife and 2 kids, and I'm like, cool. I talk to him every now and then, but I don't see him all that often. I think there's a homie I had in like freshman year in high school who I was really close with, and I think I might have told you this, but like I just really lost contact with him. Like I don't know what he went.
You know, that happens.
And then every now and then I'd see other friends like, hey, how's this person doing? And they'd be like, oh man, he really went off the rails, and like, and there's times where like I would like worry about the guy. Like I would like, I don't know, I would wake up and be like, I wonder how he's doing. You know, just kind of oh, you know, just in passing. And the one day, it was like, I mean, this was a couple years ago, but I remember like I ran into him at the taco truck, and he's just like, I'm like, dude, yo, man, how, like, bro, like, hey, it's like, I was like, I didn't know what to do. Like, look, man, like this sounds weird. I was like, but I think about you, like you know, like
no, like a lot,
like start taking off my shirt, like all the time. No, but I was like, I think about you sometimes, and I was like, you know, I'm like, I wonder how you're doing, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I wonder if he's alive, you know, stuff like that, you know. And the alive part, I said more jokingly, and he just goes, yeah, you know, oh, thanks, man, I appreciate that. And then I'm like, so, you know, what have you been up to? You know, like what's life? And he goes you know, just fucking, you know, being a fucking loser. And I was like, oh shit. And then he just dropped some heavy knowledge on me, like about how his life's been. I was like, damn, that sounds horrible. And I was like, well, hey man, like burritos on me, you know, like see you around, take care of yourself. I'm glad to see that you're, you know, not, I was gonna say doing well, but like I'm glad to see that you're, you know, doing or whatever. And then I saw him. I saw him some months later, and then he was doing a lot better. I was like, and I talked to him, and he's like in a better spot. And he's like, yeah, man. And he's like, I work on a farm now. Like, I grow, you know, vegetables and I grow weed. I was like, cool, man. He's like, yeah, I go to the farmer's market. It's like, it sounds like you found out what you want to do with yourself. It's like, yeah. So like, that is super cool when you see somebody from the past. I mean, unless they turn into total assholes. But I mean, it's interesting. That's crazy that one lives right here, and you like.
I know, right? I'm like, oh shit, what up?
You're like, that's not a common name at all, Shalise.
No, right? The second that I saw that, I was like, wait, what's her last name? Oh shit, same Shalise. Okay. You know, the same one Shalise that's ever existed.
Yeah, because that's what a Diva, Shalise, and Brixie.
Yeah.
Wow, what the fuck are people doing out there?
I was always really jealous of Brixie because she would go off to this Ben and Jerry's summer camp.
What?
Hey, that's all that I needed to know. And I was like, what? How do I go? And then I found out it was really expensive. And I'm like, I will stay here and play video games all summer.
What does a Ben and Jerry's summer camp entail? Like, is it just like a bunch of eating ice cream?
I think it's just a bunch of like super fun stuff because she would tell me about these obstacle courses and like all these super cool things. And it was called like Rainbow Camp or some shit like that.
This sounds like a lie. This sounds like one of those things like, yeah, you know, over summer I went to, you know, space camp and we went on like the moon. It was great. And you're like, oh, that's so cool, man.
Well, that was one of the things about these people is that they weren't liars. They were like really good.
Oh, they're truth tellers.
Yeah, it was fucking weird because, you know, my best friend, guy who lied about fucking everything. Yeah, that piece of shit. Yeah. I knew liars. He was a liar, but he lied about the best shit.
I was talking to some of my friends recently, and we're like, you know, because, you know, in the major that I am, there's a bunch of people, and we just like, you know, talk stuff like oh, that guy sucks because of this, and that person sucks because of that. You know, I mean, people talk shit about people all the time. You know, but it's just like,
man, in my major, we talk shit about people by saying like, oh, they suck for this reason.
Well, people talk shit about me all the time too. So the point is like, we're talking shit, and I was like, you know, and then I said something. I made a comment like, man, I bet you he was like one of those kids, like when he was younger, like all he did was lie, just a pathological lie or whatever. I'm like, those kids are the fucking worst. I couldn't stand those fucking kids because you knew they were lying. You're like, yeah, man, like I have, all the pieces of Exodia at home, but I can't bring them because, they're super rare and they're like super.
I'm like, dude, yeah, that sucks. Liar.
Yeah, exactly. And they said that and they kind of stayed quiet or whatever. And then one of my homies was like, yeah, man, that was me. Like I was one of those kids, like when I was younger.
Yeah, you fucking sucked when you were a kid. I don't know what to fucking tell you.
He was just like, yeah, man, that was me. Like, and he said that was like an issue as to why he was like bullied when he was younger. He's like, he couldn't, like, he just liked to lie and he got caught in lies all the time and he got picked on and like, it was a big issue.
Yeah, I'd pick on him too.
Yeah, he's grown up, he's matured and all that stuff. But I go like, wow. And I go like, well, I mean, that sucks for you. But honestly, I was like, yeah, man, that's, I hated you. You were the worst kid. Like, and like, just like,
yeah, without a doubt.
Like, I hated those kids. They were so, you're so like, why are you lying to me? Like, I'm not that dumb or whatever.
Right.
Anyways, that was nostalgia time with Trip and Juan, apparently.
Man, if you ever want to hang out with us back in our pasts that you weren't a part of, then join us because we weren't a part of each other's pasts. But, part of a relationship is learning about each other's lives and seeing what shaped each other into, who you are. And you guys listening, you're a part of this relationship,
Yeah, what's super funny. Someone posted something on Facebook trying to be super deep. It's like, and they changed the color filters and all that stuff or whatever. And it was just like, if you were to meet yourself today, would you like you? Right. And I saw that, like, I woke up this morning and I saw that. And I was like laying in bed of like if I were to meet myself, and I was just like, and I was trying to think about it. I'm like,
yeah, have you ever thought about that before? I definitely have.
I thought about it and then I was like trying to think about like what, and then I literally, my thought was like, man, fuck that. I don't give a fuck if I like myself or not. Like, fuck, this is the dumbest thing I ever fucking heard. I was like, he was trying to be so deep. Like, are you a good person? And I was like, am I a good person? And I was sitting there trying to think of like, would I spend time? I was like, fuck that. I don't give a shit. Like,
yeah, you're like, I like shitty people too.
Like people, like, you either fucking like me or you don't. I don't give a fuck.
Whatever.
I was just like, he's like, oh, does it matter if I like me? Who gives a fuck? Of course I don't like myself.
I mean, yeah, that's one of those things. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like your future self hates you or whatever.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's one of those things. Like, if you think about it, when you're a teenager, if you posted like, oh yeah, future me hates me.
Oh yeah.
Then it's like, yeah, I fucking hated me. Like, I would have never hung out with myself as a teenager. Like, nah, fucking that kid sucks dick.
I think it's the thing. You grow up and you mature and you become a different person.
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
absolutely.
No, I feel it. But the question was like, do you like who you are now? I was like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
I don't like anybody now.
Yeah, man, I like who I am now. I feel like I'm pretty honest about most things in my life, and I feel like I try to just be happy, and that's all that I give a fuck about. And you know what? Like, if I was broing out with me, I don't know if it would be chill or not, but I feel like it could be chill.
I mean, if someone goes out of their way and they like me for who I am, great. I'm not gonna stress about it or whatever. I'm not gonna worry like, oh man, do people like me?
I totally used to be that. I used to be so self-conscious. Oh yeah. I mean, I had like a billion issues when we first started our podcast, right? But now I'm like, I'm just chill boy. I'm like who I wanted to be.
You're like, whatever, it is what it is. Yeah. So I saw that this morning. I was just like, what a fucking load of crap.
That guy.
I don't know who it was, but I just remember being like, God, this guy probably thinks he's so fucking deep right now. I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. Nick Wilson with your fucking fireworks, your tiny ass hands, your green space, you piece of shit.
Okay, yeah. I just imagine you commenting like every other letter capitalized, just like, would you like you if you saw your...
Oh man, that's funny. Hey man, what's up with you? Like, what have you been watching lately?
I've been super watching.
Yeah, I mean, I figured we did a bunch of like, what? I
was going to tell a story about ruining my whole computer and
okay,
whatever.
make it quick then.
All right, so I ruined my whole computer and then I fixed it. Is that what you wanted me to say? Because that's what you got.
That was a little long.
Okay, I'm sorry. It took 4 hours, so it's hard to condense that,
Oh yeah, no. Trip downloaded some illegal stuff. Okay, so
it's not illegal.
Do you want me here? Give me
the Juan.
This is what you did
rendition.
Because like this. Here's what Trip did. Trip found a new setting on fucking Minecraft.
So, well, kind of sure. Whatever.
Yeah, so like he had to mod it so he could play this Minecraft in a special way, or whatever. Yeah. Like, let me finish, okay?
That's perfect.
And he wanted to set it up, and he was doing it when I was helping Eliza out, and then his computer stopped working, and like it wasn't just like the internet wasn't working. Like everything wasn't working. Like the search bar wasn't working. The only apps that worked were Spotify and like a calculator or some shit like that.
Yeah, well, no, I doubt calculator would have worked. It was like a BattleNet, the Blizzard video game
stuff,
thing. Yeah, Spotify and Twitch,
but nothing else was working. So Trip's just like, well, what do I do? And so he had to look up on his phone how to solve this issue. And no one's any fucking help. Everybody's super garbage.
Well, the people that were a help were. Well, they were trying to be helpful, but it was for very specific issues with other shit. And I'm like, I looked up my specific issues, but these people are like, I was making a program and I destroyed my computer. What should I do? And they're like, oh, all you have to do to unfuck your program is do this because I've made that program before too. And it's like, wait, what the fuck are you guys talking about? I was just trying to download something and I put it in a file in a weird way and they didn't like it.
I was just trying to play some Minecraft, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I was just trying to play Minecraft.
So Trip spent a bunch of time. He's actually factory resetted his whole computer and set everything back up and fixed it all.
Yeah, it was a good Christian experience.
And he was super proud of himself because he learned something. What a fucking nerd.
I was only proud of myself because I fucked everything up and I set it back to normal. And I'm like, I feel like I could do that with my life. If I just fucked everything up, I could get back to normal.
I can fix it. I could, yeah, for sure. I don't think anybody thinks that. I don't think you think fucking Louis C.K.'s like, yeah, I fucked up really hard, but now is the time for make it back to normal.
I think he's gotta think that.
I think there's no hope for him. You jacked off in front of people, Louis C.K. You're a bad person.
What?
You're right up there with Nick Wilson. You fucking liar.
Oh my god. All right, man.
You really like C.K., don't you?
No. Okay. So my whole thing with it is, it was an abuse of power. Fuck that. But also jerk off in front of whoever the fuck you want to jerk off to, or not to, but in front of, as long as everyone's okay with it. If I was like, hey man, you mind if I jerk off in front of you? And you were like, sure, whatever. And I started jerking off. Well, you got yourself into that situation. You can't bitch about it. But if I was like, yeah, I'm the guy who runs the podcast, you have to do everything I say. If I was like, hey man, could I jerk off in front of you? And you're like, man, I really want to fucking do this podcast still. Don't really want to see him jerk off. That feels like pretty bad. But I can't just give up the podcast. I love it.
Are you trying to jerk off in front of me? Is that what you're
So anyways, is it okay? Is it cool? Are we cool?
Yeah, I mean, you already started, so you might as well finish.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But no, the whole situation was fucked up, but I don't think that he realized how fucked up it was, at least from everything that he said. That being said, I don't know, maybe he's a bit more of a liar, but I just think he was a dude that got caught up with a weird fetish and he didn't realize that he was abusing his power.
No, for sure. Bad guy.
Yeah.
There's no redeemable factor here.
Okay.
Total trash.
Whatever, man.
Actually, you know what? I don't actually watch his shows and don't watch his stand-up, so I don't, I'm really impartial.
Damn.
I don't know how great he is.
Watching his stand-up now after that whole incident is a little bit like, I mean... But beforehand, it was like, yeah, this is what's up. Yeah,
I got this. Funny.
Yeah. And honestly, I love Louis. Yeah. It's a fucking great show. I think it deserves a lot of credit. It's great. Cool. It's a good time.
Good for you, man.
Good. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I've been playing like a lot of video games. Got hard into VR during Thanksgiving, I went a little bit hard. Played some Beat Saber. I've been beating off like nonstop. It's been great.
Yeah.
And then played a handful of Deracine, which it's a neat little fun time. You hearing the...
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
All right. So if you guys can't hear it,
well, now it's gone.
You probably could. For some reason, the mics are being all fucky. They're like picking up extra shit. It sounds like we're in the middle of a rainforest. Like an electric rainforest.
I couldn't tell you what that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, well,
but
whatever.
Fuck it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm going to turn us down. Nope, not me.
Yeah, it's gone. It's better.
It was you. And as soon as I turned it down to a certain level, it just went away.
Yeah, it's fine.
Really weird. Whatever, fuck it. We're good. Behind the scenes with Chris and Juan.
Anyways, you're back in.
Yeah, so I played Deracine. I turned into a fairy and I poisoned the kid and then I killed an old guy and now I'm going to go heal somebody's leg because they're like a little girl that walks around with a cane that a monster grabs their leg every night and it damages it. According to her, who knows what actually happens. Probably a monster, whatever. And then I've been playing some Tetris Effect, which is like if somebody who's really into fucking music and like acid trips made a Tetris game, this is it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I love it for the Tetris aspect of it. And I love that it like fits in with all these, like the sounds and the music and stuff goes along with every button you push. And like, as it goes on, it adds more tracks and it sounds great. But the visuals of it are fucking weird. And like some of the songs, fucking weird. So it definitely feels like a more trippy game than I was expecting. but it's high quality shit. It's good. I like me some virtual reality now. I'm back in it. I want to get Doom virtual reality and start blasting demons on Mars in the face.
You gotta be careful. I don't want you to get stuck in that VR world.
Yeah, that'd be a super fucking spooky one to
Sword Art Online.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That ain't me.
That ain't you.
Yeah, but as far as anime goes, I haven't been watching any because the holidays came around, and then our boy Kyle got mega sick, and he's my anime boy, so we power out that shit, but we couldn't power out anything. Yeah, because this is dumb sickies.
Just the Beat Saber it up.
And I got dumb sickies like yesterday, and now I'm all good.
Well, things that I've been up to, I guess.
I want to hear about your life. That's the only thing I really care about.
School started up again. Things are pretty cool.
Truth.
Talking to everybody, like in my group for my group projects, a lot of people, like we all got in a group and, started saying like, hey, what we all did. Collectively, I think the entire class almost did nothing. Like I worked on some stuff.
It's pretty funny, yeah.
Yeah, I worked on some stuff. I was like, I'm going to do some stuff. But we all came together and it was just like, yeah, no one did anything. And where it's like, I was like, well, okay, well, that's good. I mean, no one did anything. Oh, well, like, what can we do, right?
Yep,
like,
that's it.
So now everybody's super behind and people are like stressing. And I'm like, no, man, I'm fine. Like, it's just going to be a shittier project than we all hoped it would be. We're all going to pass the class. There's no way you're going to fail all of us. I met up with my partner for my new thing. He's super chill. He's an animator too. I think he's a year behind me. So I know in quotations a little more than he does, but he's super nice. He's from San Diego. We were talking about anime. Like he looked at my laptop case and was like, "Oh, nice stickers." And I was like, "Cool, yeah. I like anime." He like anime. He goes, "I just recently got into it."
Ooh.
He's like, me and my roommate have been watching some things, and he was telling me what he was watching, and he said he watched like One Punch Man, My Hero, and then he also watched one more that I fucking keep forgetting.
Monster Musume.
No, Kill la Kill. There it is.
That's the one.
And then I was like, "Oh, cool, nice." I was like, "You should check out Mob. It's really cool." And then we were talking some more. And then I started I really like my nerdiness show. And I'm like, I was like, look, man, like I really like anime. Like I watch too much anime. Like I have a podcast about anime. And he looked at me for like, it was like a beat. Like he stopped. He's like, oh, okay. And then he just went back to work. Then
it's like, I guess I can't fucking talk anime with him because anything I say is going to be fucking heresy.
No, he liked some good stuff. He said he watched Samurai Shine Blue. He said it was solid. And he said he tried to watch Trigun, but he said maybe it's a little too old for him.
Yeah. It's not that it's dated. It's that the animation's dated.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's still a solid thing. Whatever.
I think the voice acting is some of the best voice acting for an English dub that I've ever seen.
So that was cool. I think I feel like I watched the movie since we did this. I watched the Bohemian Rhapsody movie.
Yeah.
Too fucking long. It was good. I mean, I talked to somebody who's like a huge Freddie Mercury fan, and he's also in media. He does he's doing media studies or whatever. Yeah. And so he knows how to he knows like editing and script writing. Shit, and so I'm talking to him about it, and like I want to get his opinion because I know he likes Bohemian. Freddie Mercury a lot, and so like, yo, what do you think? And he goes, "You first," and I go, "Oh man, that was like too fucking long." And he looked at me and he was so fucking pissed. I was like, wait, you telling me like you're okay with how long? He's like, it was amazing. I was like, it was the best thing I've ever seen. I was just like, no, I think you're being blinded because I like Queen a lot too. I think they're pretty great and the music's great and whatever. And I thought it'd be cool to see their story, but after I didn't want to sit for that long, and I feel like they could have done better editing or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, man, you're just wrong. I was like, I think you're being blinded here, like by your your fandom or whatever.
Dude, I feel you.
You couldn't be impartial.
Personal opinion. Any kind of a movie that's a documentary about something that people pretty much universally love is just a big jerk off movie.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. For the most part, it's like, oh, you see the movies? Like, yeah, there's it's so good.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty conflicted because if there is something that I enjoy and they make a movie about it, chances are I'll like it a little bit more than I probably should.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
whatever.
No one can be impartial when it comes to things like that.
Yeah.
You and I, after we watched, Fireworks, we decided to watch a documentary called Tickled.
Yeah.
And it was something that I'd heard about a while back ago. And you just recently
heard about it that day.
I have to watch it.
Yeah, people fucking made it sound so good on the internet. They were like, it was fucking mind blowing. It was, it starts out as one thing. It turns into something completely different. It was entertaining. It was amazing. It was good.
It was a documentary about this guy following underground tickle competitions or something
tickle
like
leagues,
that.
Yeah.
Tickle leagues and stuff like that. And he kind of turned into this whole conspiracy about some just specifically one guy who's just fucking doing horrible things to get, his fucking rocks off.
Yeah, he's essentially just he's not making. He's getting these people to sign up for this thing where they tickle each other, and then he gets it recorded, but it's all under the guise of being somebody else.
Yeah.
And this whole, like, he's changed the names of who was in charge of it, and it just gets creepier and creepier.
And he starts like blackmailing people.
Yeah, but the part is where somebody finds like their footage online and they're like, oh shit, this is coming up when you search my name and it's affecting my life. If they're like, hey, could you please take this down, or can you do something? Like, I'm sorry. And they're just like, nope, go fuck yourself. We're going to make this fucking hell for you.
For no reason.
Yeah, and then they just like start posting all this terrible shit about whoever it is, and it turns into a really dark thing. And in particular, the one that was the most disappointing to me, I think, is that there's this dude who he wanted to be a professional football player.
Yeah.
And he couldn't because his name would pop up in
Every
all of these weird places, and it was just way too much. Like, they would have to get some major PR damage control going on. So yeah, it's just not worth it. So even though he's an amazing football player, according to him, whatever it is.
Well, he would say that, like, he did look like an athletic guy. He was going off tryouts. He just said that a lot of people would, shy away from him just because he was connected to this, or other players would find out and they, tease him about, like, you do gay porn. It's like, it's not gay porn. It's just something I had to do for money or whatever. And and it's now become like this thing that just like a cloud over his head, and I thought the documentary was fine. You and I talked about it.
Fine.
I think we've seen better documentaries, like things that we enjoyed way more. Like, we were really engrossed and really captivated. And this one was just like, this is really interesting. And a lot of the time while we were watching it, I was just thinking, this is fucked up. And I'd look at you and be like, this is fucked up. And you'd be like, this is
really fucked up. Just like, but not like, I need to see what happens next. It's just like, well, I mean, I'm sure something else fucked up happened. Yeah. I don't really care what it is, but you're going to tell me, and then I'm going to be like, wow, that is fucked up.
Yeah, I don't feel like any like different or better or like a changed person after it. It's just like,
no.
Oh, cool. That's a really shitty situation. And that's all it kind of was.
Right. And I don't think that any kind of like references could come out of it. Like, there's going to be nothing that I really care about in a long lasting way. Meanwhile, if somebody were, I don't know, playing a game or something, if somebody made a joke like kill screen coming up, that's fucking hilarious. I love that because I love King of Kong, a fist of cold quarters.
Yeah. For sure. I feel it. So we did that. That was fun. We're thinking about going to the Hobo Johnson concert on Sunday. That would be fun. But man, honestly, when it comes to the anime, I've been doing some watchings. Yeah. I caught up with a bunch of Banana Fish. I don't think I'm completely caught up, but I'm a lot closer.
Nice.
I watched some more the Bunny Senpai show. I think I'm on episode like 8 or whatever.
It is a phenomenal show.
I really like it.
Anybody who hasn't started watching it at this point, please watch it. Even though it's a show where it seems like it's going to be like a weird, horny kind of like, I don't know. It's a smart show. Yeah. It's about like metaphysics and about emotional growth.
Mm-hmm. It's just really interesting because like you see the title, you see like the intro. It's like, wow, it's like there's all these sexy chicks. Like, they look very attractive. They're all well drawn or whatever. And then you're just like, it's not really about that though,
Not at all. It hasn't hardly have that like fan service element to it.
I mean, there is some, but it's not like in your face on purpose. It's like, oh wow, she's wearing something that's something like that's considered sexy, but she's wearing it for a purpose. Like like when she wears her bunny suit, or when his friend that's like the sciencey chick puts her hair up and starts wearing a different outfit. There's like she's like, it's hot outside, I can't wear fucking what I normally wear.
And they tie it in the story in different ways, and you're like, oh fuck, that's like pretty
that makes
dark
more
and
sense.
sad.
Exactly, yeah.
And then there are other things too where like, for example, she's taking a bath next to him or whatever, but it's like she's in one room, he's in another, so they don't see each other.
And they're just talking.
Yeah, they're just talking. That was, I think, to make her seem more vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And I think that it accomplished it very well to be like, you know what? She has nothing to hide right here. And they're just talking really open and honestly.
Exactly, yeah.
I thought that was a cool way. Like, maybe that's not what they intended, but
that's what you got from it. Yeah.
That's what I got from it. And that's not like we're going to dive into the story and we're going to examine every part of it. Like, we're not trying to destroy it like an English class would. It was just like, oh shit, this show's like really smart. It makes you think about things in different ways. And you could clearly see that they had a purpose to every little part after you see the first couple episodes, you're like, I get it.
And I could say the best thing so far is that, which was my biggest concern, it has not turned into a harem like I thought it would. I just figured that, we would introduce more girl characters and they would just all fall in love with their main character.
Well, because in the intro, you're just like, all right, we got our guy, and then we got like 5 girls. All right, this is going to be a harem. It's a harem. All right, and then you start watching and you're like, fuck, this show's amazing. Yeah. All right, next episode, let's go. Holy shit, this is great. And then finally you get to like the new girl or whatever, and you're like, oh, this isn't a harem at all. I love this show.
Yeah, it's like that bitch better not fucking fall in love with him.
The outro, it being like each new girl or whatever, such a cool little, oh man, I love this show.
It's a really good show. What else? I watched more of the running guys. I like it. I think it's a really good show.
Run with the Wind, yeah.
And then I watched some more Surune. It's not the worst thing ever. It's just kind of, it's okay.
Yeah, it was too meh, so I'm donezo. I'm donezo for Runzo.
I feel like I haven't watched too much anime yet, so I'm like, I'll keep on with it.
Yeah, sure.
And for the most part, that's it, man. I haven't really been doing too much other stuff besides, just living it.
Yeah. Yo, shout outs to Wreck-It Ralph 2. Saw that with my sister. It was really good.
Yeah.
It was, I liked it more than the first off. I also felt like we didn't get that moment where we were taken completely out of the movie because Rihanna starts playing.
Shut Up and Drive.
Yeah. Where I'm watching the movie and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I get this. All right, cool. And we'll shut up and drive. And we're like, okay, man, where'd this fucking come from?
I feel like, didn't they also play that for like when they did the Cars movie?
Probably.
Anytime there's
I don't fucking know.
Oh, are we racing? All right, play Rihanna. Right. Play Rihanna.
Alexa, play Rihanna. Thank you so much.
On repeat, Alexa.
Thank you so much. But yeah, Wreck-It Ralph 2, I thought that they did a great job. The trailers, parts of it seemed like, oh, this is going to be funny, and other parts seemed like, it's going to be gimmicky. It wasn't. It was very good. They had one of my favorite characters from anything ever. He doesn't talk. He's like a weird, glitched out, fucking gross piece of shit with giant eyes, and you can't see like any of his face is like 2 eyes, and he's like a little waddly dude that has these arms that stretch crazy fucking long, and they like look all glitchy and weird. Like he'll just reach out, and then his arm keeps going, and it just like it makes the texture stretch, so it just looks super fucked up and cool. And loved it. Hilarious, really fun movie, and they got me. Not going to spoil how they get me, but I have a feeling like you'll be got. Just stick around after the credits.
Okay, I'll for sure. I have to watch that. I really do want to watch it.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, man. Do you want to talk about the news?
Let's talk about the news. Okay. News. Everyone loves news. What's your favorite news?
New news.
New news. Okay, so I got some. A couple of people have been talking about it just out in the world. I think like 5 people maybe have heard of this, but Evangelion's going to be coming to Netflix in 2019.
Yeah, so that's funny. You got me good.
I got you. I'm a getter.
No, this is super cool. We were talking about this last night actually because we saw this on our, we were like, hey, I was like, did you hear about this? And you're like, yeah, cool, good.
Well, because for both of us, we're not fans of Evangelion. Mm-hmm. But we're fans of Evangelion.
Exactly. Like we neither of us can say we've seen the entire series,
Nah.
But we did do a bit where we reviewed a little bit of it. And I remember watching maybe 7 or 8 episodes and being like, this show's fucking solid.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where it's hard to watch it. Mm-hmm. There aren't any places to watch it.
Exactly. That was the issue. Like where we couldn't find it anywhere.
I downloaded like a movie for us to watch, and
it was like a compilation movie.
Yeah, and I was like, that's kind of the best that we got for this episode. It's too difficult to try to do anything else right now. And now that it's going to come to Netflix in 2019, I finally have a good opportunity to get into it, and there's not really any excuses.
I'm super stoked to check this out because, like you said, we were talking about this earlier too. Like it's hard to find stuff in the past, And
we were talking about this a bit.
Even today, like we were talking about, like for when we were doing the show, sometimes like we know what shows we're like, woo, remember when we wanted to watch that show? I'm like, yeah, but it was a hassle to try to find it and get quality or whatever. Yeah. Like you said, you had an issue with Bakano or whatever.
Yeah.
What else was there? We had to like find the fucking Evangelion shit or whatever.
Uh-huh. And it was hard to watch Perfect Blue.
Yeah, Perfect Blue and then Mongolian Chop, whatever.
Yeah, Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad.
It was just like, you want to watch them, but you're like, where? So it's cool that a show that is super hype and super popular, like, Evangelion, which is a classic or, one of those cornerstone animes that,
it's like the best mech show that's ever existed.
Yeah, no, it's a solid show. And I for sure want to watch all of it and not watch the movies, just like legitimately watch the show because I really enjoyed it. So this is super good news.
Yeah.
And I'm glad Netflix got it. Sometimes Netflix gets things and you're just like, oh,
yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, cool, you acquired Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever. But like,
good shit.
But now they got this. I'm like, this is a solid thing to have. Yeah. So it's cool. Good for them.
Yeah, super stoked about that. So that's kind of the biggest piece of news. Next up, I don't have much news this week, just as a heads up, but I thought that this was insanely interesting and pretty fucked up. So all funding for my sister, my writer, has been stopped essentially because they had all the money, they had the budget, and somehow along the way management lost it. So the animators aren't getting paid.
Yeah.
It's the middle of the season. They're not getting paid. This show's kind of been a butt of a lot of jokes, just because the quality is so bad. It looks like shit. First episode started out, I was like, it looks good. It looks fine. The show looks bad, but it looks like freaking whatever.
Yeah.
We didn't give it to Kyle as our show, like our trash show to watch this season, because there were other shows that just seemed like they were worse.
Yeah, just like they weren't even they weren't the worst because of what usually makes them the worst. Usually what makes things the worst is like it's super overtly sexy or it's really short and like just ugly.
It just feels weird watching it.
So this season we had just bad shows, shows that were just like not good, but not because of those reasons, because of just not being good or whatever.
Yeah. So this whole season of anime, like watching it, we're like, oh fuck, a lot of this is really good. And then some of it just feels like it doesn't matter at all. And it's not like, oh, I hate it, but it's just like, it just doesn't matter. Yeah. So we gave Kyle the choice of 2 shows that we felt like don't matter whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then this happens, and we're like, "Oh, should we change it?"
Yeah,
I don't know. Well, it depends on how far he is, because we should definitely give him this. If so, anyways, the animators aren't getting paid for any of their work right now, and there have been there's an animator who's been tweeting about things. So I've got a couple of excerpts that he said from his tweets. So it has like, I don't know, some weird abbreviation, but I'm just going to say the show whenever I'm talking about my sister, my writer. So the show's production company, the compensation for the animation team still hasn't been paid. It seems that the people who suffered damage are going to make a mass appeal. And it's not just the show. If we take the previous work, which is something else they did, into account too, it seems that I am no longer unrelated. So essentially what he's saying is the management has been completely fucked. You could look into it. They're shitty. Like, they're treating people like shit. And then he said that he really wants to ask the director, why are we making this?
Yeah. Like, what's the point?
Yeah. And some people are saying that it will be fixed for the Blu-rays, but at this point, it's too late for that, because who would want to buy the Blu-rays on on such a gamble? And he asks, "Are you stupid?" Like, this guy that's animating is so fucking mad, but he knows that if he brings it up with the director, he could just get completely fucked over, right? And he went on to say a little bit more about it, about how animation should start a year before the broadcast of a TV show, or 2 years, but it just started way too late. And or 2 years for the premiere of movies. But yeah, he has these ideas that he's like talking about that I think everyone could pretty much agree upon.
Yeah.
And their management just can't fucking get it, and they've ruined like every part of it. And the worst part about this too is that this was a light novel before it became a show. It's actually, people like it, right? And for somebody who's written this, I don't know if you're under the impression that it's going to be adapted into a TV show or a movie or whatever the fuck it is, but I think that there's always that thing in the back of your head, like, this happens, that would be so fucking amazing if this happened to me. Yeah. And then I'm sure that he had that situation where he's like, oh my God, somebody wants this. Yeah. Okay. Let's start talking. Let's see if it works. They say all the right stuff. And he's like, yeah, this is great. And to see it handled like this would be heart crushing. You know?
I don't know. Do you? Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Because nobody's going to want to adapt it after that. And then people aren't going to want to get your book after that either. People might have wanted to get your book beforehand. That being said, maybe it'll drive more sales for the book, because people will be like, no, the book's fucking good. Trust me on it. And they're like, I don't believe you, but I'm going to get it.
Is it? I'm trying to remember what show it was. I think Kyle reviewed it. Is it Sisters All You Need? Is that the one where like he would write like sexy stuff, and the end part of it was like he got his show, like they but it was like, but they said, hey man, we're going to make your show, but the budget's super shit, and like we're just not going to do a good job of it. And like, and he's just like, yeah, fucking do it anyways. I don't think any creator really is just like yeah, just anything I made, just make it as long as it's made. Like, that really sucks for whoever created this, because I'm sure he put some time in or whatever. And it sucks for people not getting paid, because they're doing their job, right?
The whole situation is very upsetting and so unique. And like, could you imagine this happening in the United States?
No, that'd be super weird.
There would be like riots. People would boycott that company so fast. And I have no idea what it's like in Japan right now.
I don't know, man. Maybe just...
But man, that sucks.
I think just like jobs are so dire over there. It's just like, yeah, you can complain, then you just don't have a job. How about that?
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
Especially when you're a part of that industry that's so hard to break into.
So competitive, right? Man, that sucks. And you can really see the visual, like the difference, right? Like,
yeah, like I urge anybody to look up the first episode, look up some of the animation from that, and then look up the 8th episode and see some of the...
It's so bad, yeah.
It's like a completely different show.
Yeah,
people have been making fun of it and poking fun, and then when you hear this, it's like, I kind of feel bad about making fun of it. Like, it clearly wasn't a show for me. It wasn't a show that I ever intended to watch. But man, just seeing the quality drop so much because of this. Like, how are you passionate about something where you're not even getting paid for it?
Yeah.
It makes you lose any kind of drive. For
sure. It's a huge bummer. And, we could only hope that this gets resolved some way, but you never know. We have no physical thing. And, in the past, I think it was Dragon Ball Z. It might have been Super. Maybe it was Super the movie. Like the first one, like, I'm not exactly sure what it was, but I know they showed like what the show looked like when it was like airing, and then they showed like, we fixed it for the Blu-ray or whatever, and like it made sense. Like they had more time, and they went and redrew things. Like, oh, dope. But that's Dragon Ball Z or whatever. And like, that's
guess what? People already liked it.
Yeah, people are gonna you had a better version of this. Like, okay, cool, they're gonna do it. But like a show like this, I feel like has no hope. So it doesn't even matter if you fix it in the Blu-ray. Might as well just you cut your losses essentially. Cut your losses, call it good. I mean, I've never heard of something like ending like this. It'd be crazy if they like just stop production. It's like, nope, it's not even worth it anymore.
That would make the most sense.
Right? Like,
that's what they should do.
Have you ever heard of a show like they just stopped in the middle of the season? Like, no, we're done.
Wasn't there that guy who was doing the rapey shit?
Oh, but he was kidnapping people.
Yeah. It was the Seven Senses or whatever.
Seven Senses.
It was on last season. It was the one about the girl who
keep talking.
Okay, who died when they were kids, and then she came back in the video game.
Oh yeah. Where it was Anohana meets fucking Sword Art Online.
Seven Senses of the Reunion or whatever. Huh? I think it did because of all that fucked up stuff that happened.
He was kidnapping people.
Yeah, he was kidnapping these girls.
Yeah.
Like several or something. And I don't know if they were
just assuming bad things to them or whatever. Yeah. That guy fucking sucks. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, that sucks for all the people that worked on that show. And fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Because, I mean, the show started out and I was like, I mean, maybe it's going to be good. Who knows? Wasn't for me. I gave up on it. And then I find out this. And I'm like, what the fuck? Japan, you need to get your shit together in the animation industry. In the United States, we have fucked up shit that happens too. Like the creator of SpongeBob just died.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that. It's a bummer.
And it's a sad day for a lot of people. I think that since SpongeBob has been put into so many memes, it's reached way more people than you would ever expect. Because I mean, everyone watched, their childhood cartoons and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But SpongeBob has that special place for people that are older too. Because even though they're not going to watch SpongeBob, they're gonna fucking meme the shit out of it.
I like whoever made the SpongeBob anime intros. Those are fucking killer, man. I'm a huge fan of SpongeBob. When I was younger, I really liked it a lot, and I got older and I grew out of it, and I think the show wasn't as good in my opinion. I feel like the older episode's great.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not gonna say, if you like it, that's fine. What I'm saying is, it's a bummer. This guy made something really important, I feel, and he's gone. Stan Lee died a while back. Not too long ago, and now the guy that created SpongeBob died. So it's a bummer when someone that creates something great passes away. So
yeah, and like that's the fucked up shit that we deal with in the United States. Fortunately, we're not having people like Butch Hartman that are getting in charge of stuff and like ruining it. Like he tried, and then everyone was like, "Oh wait, hang on a second, he's doing weird fucked up shit, and he's being like discriminatory." All right, we're done with that.
Out of here.
It happened really fast, but this is something where it's like, how did it get to this point?
Yeah, did they cancel all of his talk shows?
Butch Hartman?
Yeah,
I think so.
He was Talking Dead, right? He did Breaking Bad or whatever, the Breaking Talk.
Wait,
who are you talking about? Oh, you mean the guy that did fucking Rick and Morty and
holy shit, what are you doing?
Not smart. Butch Hartman's the guy that
Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, the fucking Oaxis dude.
Yeah.
There's just some people who do fucked up shit. Okay, I was thinking about the guy that does, he used to do the talk shows after The Walking Dead.
Chris Hardwick.
Yeah,
he sucks.
His shit got canceled too super fast for stuff that he would do. Yeah.
He was a huge asshole, so yeah.
Yeah, well, Butch Hartman's also sucks. I mean, I did like the Fairly Odd Parents, and then he kind of rested on his laurels, and Danny Phantom. And then he just kind of be like, everything I touch is great. I was like, dude, fucking Tough Puppy sucks dick, and like all other the fucking all other shows you make not that great. So
yeah,
but and now he's doing No Access.
But as far as the animation industry goes in the United States, it's
if you try to do some bullshit like this, like you crack down on you. Fucking, I don't know if I told you about this, but you remember like the Sausage Party movie or whatever? Yeah. They weren't paying their animators, and they were doing a bunch of fucked up shit too. But they were in Canada, so like that's how they got away with it. And I was talking to, because my teacher's Canadian, he was explaining it more to us. Essentially, they were just like, they were being super fucked about it. They're like, yeah, you got to do it super quick, and you fucking will fire you, and we won't pay you overtime. It was like a bunch of bullshit, and there's like the animators like, wait, what's going on here? Like,
yeah, like I'm sorry, we're not used to this. We're used to making animation. Yeah, what are you doing?
And they got swept under the rug. Honestly, I feel like Seth Rogen got out of that really cleanly. Like, I'm like, I get that he's not the one that was like saying like, oh, put him to work, whatever. But like, this was your movie. You were in charge of this stuff, whatever, and like, what the fuck? So
he should have just been like, you know what? That's shitty. I had no idea what's going on. Again, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, but again, that happened in Canada, so that didn't play out in the United States. But yeah, I mean, if shit like that happens here, it gets cracked down quick.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's a fucking BuzzFeed article faster than you can fucking fucking turn on your iPhone. Anyways, is that all your news?
No.
And what else you got?
Remember how I said I had something exciting for you?
Sure. What you got?
Before we started the show?
Is it the new season of Ultimate Muscle?
No, but it's pretty close. So, you know your favorite movie?
A Silent Voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming back to the theaters. We never got to see it in theaters.
Did we not?
No.
We didn't see A Silent Voice in theaters?
No, we couldn't do it.
Where did we see it? Here?
We had to download it illegally. And then I've felt bad about it ever since, and I've wanted to buy the Blu-ray so fucking bad. And
that's not true. I saw it in theaters.
No, you didn't.
A Silent Voice?
Yeah.
I had to see that in theaters. There's no way I didn't see it in theaters. Trip, you're telling me I can't. I'm gonna go find this movie stuff. I swear.
You don't remember that the end of it was cut off and we had to look it up online?
No,
you saw it in theaters.
I saw it in theaters. I saw it in theaters. I was telling you it was like about bullying.
Why wouldn't I get to go see it?
I don't know.
Why did I have to download it then?
Maybe I would have gone to theaters. Maybe you couldn't go.
Long story short, it's coming back.
Okay, good. We should watch it in theaters. I saw that in theaters. Go fuck yourself.
I know I saw it
in theaters because I was telling you, like, there's an old couple in front of me and they were tearing up or whatever, and I thought it was super cool because they were watching anime and being super emotional about this. I saw Your Name in theaters with you too, right?
Yeah, we for sure saw that one together.
I swear to God, I saw Silent Voice in theaters. I collect all my ticket stubs from movies, so I'm gonna go back and try to find this.
You should.
But anyways,
why wouldn't I get to go see it?
Maybe you forgot.
I would not forget.
Whoa, calm down. Whoa, kidding me? Whoa. Good?
No.
Whoa. Look, man, it's cool it's coming back to theaters. I'm super stoked to see this again because I swear to God I saw it.
What the fuck? How did I?
If I find the stuff and maybe you can find out what day it is, maybe you can figure out why you weren't able to watch it.
Yeah, I gotta call some people.
Mom, I don't remember the last 30 days.
What the fuck? Because I know I had to get it.
Is it just coming out in theaters or it's also coming out on Blu-ray?
Theaters for now. And people are like, hopefully this means we get it on Blu-ray.
Nice.
Bring it to us, please. Thank you, Japan.
For sure. All right, man.
I'm stoked. Anyone that hasn't seen it, you gotta fucking just clear your schedule for all of January so you can make sure you could go and see this.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere to see this movie.
Yeah, there are no dates out yet, so keep an eye out. This is the most important thing that's ever happened to us. I'm ready to talk about our topic for this week, which is Fireworks. It's a little movie that came out a hot minute ago. It is by a studio some of you may have heard of called Shaft. Now, Shaft Studio, they're pretty popular. They've made all of the Monogatari series, so we could talk about like Neko Monogatari, Baka Monogatari, Kizu Monogatari. There's one with his like crazy like Zetsuko Monogatari, and all those Monogataris.
And when we say we can talk about it, we can be like, we can say the names because we've never seen the shows. So
yeah, exactly. Madoka Magica. You know that? You familiar with it?
Yeah.
Madoka Magica.
That one's pretty aight.
That's one.
And then, it ain't no Magic Girl Racing Project. It's aight.
Hey, man, you just need to see the whole series and see the whole movies instead of just watch the compilation movie.
Which, honestly, I forgot it. I thought I saw the entire show. I was like, this fucking whack. Like, I'm watching the movie, I'm like, this is fucking bullshit, man. You're missing stuff. Stuff doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, because you watched the compilation. I was like, what? What? I was so confused. I was like, none of this makes sense, Trip.
Man, if you just want to hang out one day and go through all of it, I'm game as fuck. I love that shit. Look at all them figgies. I got hella figgies up there.
A bunch of those, yeah.
All right, I'm just going to do a quick count of how many figgies. I got 2 Madokas. I got 1 Himura. I got 1... what the fuck is it? No, I got 2 Homuras. I called her Himura, I think. Homura. I got 1 Sayuri. And I got 1 cat girl, whatever her name is. I call her cat girl because she has one of those fangs. She one of them fangs. Yeah, she's a fanger. If I could get, oh man, it would be fucking cool if they had a witch figure. Long story short, Shaft also makes Nisekoi, which is a little show that people like.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Shaft makes plenty of stuff.
They do. And guess what? The director also makes some cool shit. He pretty much just works for Studio Shaft, but his name is Akiyuki Shinbou, and he made March Comes In Like a Lion. He did season 1 and 2. And when you start thinking about, like, for those of you that haven't seen March Comes In Like a Lion or Fireworks, you could start thinking about the visuals and think about how they're different in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense. And then he also made Arakawa Under the Bridge, which is an older anime. It's from 2010. I say older because, it's like almost 2019 or whatever. And I've ever heard of that one, but I have heard of March Comes In Like a Lion, and I really appreciate it. It's a show that I wish I didn't stop watching.
Yeah, I stopped too.
But oh well, whatever. What are you going to do?
It looked really good. It was just kind of a bummer, man. That show really was a downer. I was like, fuck.
But it was really good. Like, it was a bummer in a good way.
That show came around the time that I saw fucking A Silent Voice too, because I remember being like, this is a great representation of depression or whatever. Yeah, that show looks visually great, and they do a lot of like dream sequency kind of things, like stuff that like surrealism or whatever. Yeah. And that does remind me a lot about Fireworks. So
yeah, so there are some ties in
for sure.
Anyhow, studio. I think that this studio has a lot of say of the different shots and whatnot that are used in everything. Yeah. Like in Madoka Magica, they didn't have too many of these particular shots, but in Monogatari, they have a lot of bizarre angles. They'll have a lot of like extreme close-ups, a lot of just
quick cuts.
Yeah, they have quick cuts to things that aren't in the scene. So they'll have cutaway shots for like less than a second sometimes, and really quick things like that. In Monogatari, there's a lot of dialogue going on, and when it does a quick cut like that, it's like, oh shit, I have to remember that now, and there's like a lot more information coming in. But with this movie, the dialogue's a lot slower, so those cutaway shots don't feel as important. It's just kind of giving us little pieces of the scene, which I think is good. Yeah, I like that they do that. But it definitely gave me this feeling of like, oh man, I'm watching like Monogatari. There are some shots of like the dude's mouth a couple of times, and you could see all of his teeth and whatnot, and the way that they animate him talking. I'm just like, oh yeah, I've seen that in Monogatari. That's like for sure there. So there are a lot of parts that I feel like the studio has influence on. And it's weird to me whenever you see a studio do completely different pieces of work, but you see the studio's influence.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, for example, Mob Psycho 100, My Hero Academia, same studio, completely different beasts.
Oh, yeah.
You fucking throw in Bungo Stray Dogs, totally fucking different. All of the shows are so drastically different.
Yeah, they're really good too.
Yeah, but they're all by the same studio, very different in a lot of ways. And then you have the director who did March Comes In Like a Lion, which is completely different from this movie. Anyhow, that's just a little bit of behind the scenes background stuff. Sure. If you're not familiar with everything, now you're a little bit more well-versed on how the studios can influence the way that a show or a movie is made.
Yeah, for sure. Like I was just sitting there, watching it, and you were like, this And you're like, yeah, of course it's the Shaft. Like you instantly knew.
Yeah,
it was like, what are you talking about? And you just like you named all the things that happened, and then you're like, yeah, they do a quick cut, and they just did a weird quick cut right then when you said it. Like, here comes a really weird angle. Here's this odd shot angle. Like,
and you're like, oh fuck yeah, okay, now I get it.
Like now I see it, and I couldn't stop seeing it, and I was like, yeah, I guess when you know the trademarks for specific shows, like, yep, that's very Shaft for them. Or like, I feel like I can do that with Trigger. Like, that's very Trigger of them. Like,
Trigger is very specific with certain things. Yeah, and it's really cool when you get to that point where you could see all their different work is definitely influenced by the studio and not just the director.
For sure.
It's so cool seeing that. So anyways, now that I've given you a weird behind the scenes breakdown, throw us into the plot, Juan.
Okay, so again, you and I had no idea what this was about, and
not at all.
We get a little boy, wakes up for schools. He's just
hell yeah, been there, done that.
Mom's just like, hey, fucking time to go to school. I think he lives like in a fish shop or something like that.
Yeah, well,
it wasn't really clear.
Let me just say this. The movie was not very clear.
No. Everything was kind of... There's times where I would lean over to you and be like, hey, what's going on here? I'd be like, or did we miss something? And you'd be like, I don't know. They didn't tell us. Or if they didn't like physically tell us, like with the actual specific dialogue, they didn't do a good job of conveying what they were trying to convey. Mm-hmm. It was just kind of like, I guess this is what's going on now or whatever.
Also, I don't know for sure, but the subtitles weren't that fantastic on Amazon Prime.
They were pretty shitty.
Yeah, there were a few times where you could tell that the character's saying like a few more things to give it a different kind of impression, but instead they just give us like a one word.
Baka.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, okay, so clearly she said he's an idiot. I get that. But also she said like a few things more. So it's not just like you're being an idiot. It's like, man, why you always got to be an idiot? Like adding those like extra things. Yeah, exactly. Instead of being like, you're an idiot. It's like, okay, well, we know that she's used to him being an idiot and it irritates her. Mm-hmm. But instead we don't get that extra context. We're just like, well, I guess he's an idiot, whatever.
Even though she's still talking. It's like the shitty, like, Chinese fucking action flicks that you see, right? Like their mouths would move for a shit ton and you just be like, I'm here to fight you. And they like would get like,
I fucking love it.
There's no fucking way that's all he said. Yeah.
No. So that was... there were multiple reasons why the information didn't get to us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sure, if we spoke Japanese, I'm sure we would have been able to understand
a little bit more comprehension
with like the sub, and then we learn all the time, it's more important. It's better to show instead of tell things. You're like, I'm going to show you and you should be able to pick up the things.
That's one of the biggest things in film is like, you should be able to watch the movie with no dialogue and kind of be able to follow the story.
You shouldn't have to have someone come in and be like, hey guys, the next thing that's going to happen is this because this is what's going to happen. And, it should be like, I this makes sense for this to happen because I saw it all happen.
And that being said, that's not the way it should always be because sometimes it's like really cool when it doesn't do that.
Exactly.
But
rule of thumb is show, don't tell.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, their dialogue, and maybe because of the shitty subtitles, and it wasn't just that. There's also other things like they didn't do a really good job of explaining things. So it's like so we were kind of lost. So at the beginning we're like, okay, cool. So he's going to school or whatever, and I think he lives on top of like a fishing shop, and he obviously lives in some sort of fishing community because
so we're trying to figure these things out.
He's
and
near
we're
the ocean.
All right, got it.
There's these really beautiful fucking like windmills, and it's like it's great.
Okay, cool. It's beautiful, and they're like,
he goes to school, and then we get some really shitty. Here's the best part: we get some really shitty 3D animation of people like riding a skateboard.
I don't think it was shitty. I think it's the best studio that could have been hired for this kind of a job.
It was really shitty bicycling, skateboarding, scootering, and then bicycling again. And what's funny is that like we're like, it was ugly. It didn't look good. I'm like,
yeah, no. It's one of those things where you're like, all right, I'm totally in the world. I'm following. You're doing some weird artistic shit, and I'm into that. All right, now we're doing 3D stuff. Oh, guys.
And the thing is, we've seen that 3D stuff can be done successfully.
Yeah.
But and then sometimes, the way to save money or to cut a corner is you put 3D stuff in when you don't need to physically draw everything, like group of like school children run by, like I could draw all of that. Or we can have like a 3D group of kids and we just kind of pan over it and we don't really see it too much, and we kind of, okay, we'll just take it for what it is. But the thing is, because, Shaft did try to do a really good thing, like make it look all artistic and pretty or whatever.
Yeah.
The juxtaposition of them too, hey, here's this really nice world, and then there's this really ugly 3D animation. Like it was kind of hard to avoid and not see, And what's great is at the very end we see that it's done by Polygon Pictures, which is like fucking the bane of your existence.
Yeah,
like, you fucking hate them. It's like Trip just like loses. She's like, fucking damn it, this fucking God. It's like he was just so mad. It's like, hey man.
Well, it's clear that that's the reason the movie was the way it was, you know?
Because it was Polygon Pictures, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So anyways, let's keep going. So our boy's going to school, and he sees this girl that he likes, and he sees her pick up like something out of the water. It looks like it's
a marble.
A marble, but it has like ridges to it.
It's has like, more shit going on. She's like, this is pretty cool.
It's super pretty or whatever.
It's going to be something that I have.
And then we, it just regular school stuff, blah, 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 all this stuff, bullshit. And then we see that one of his friend tells him, hey, I think I'm going to tell so-and-so how I feel, which is the girl that we saw earlier. And they're obviously part of the swimming club, and they're all swimming together. And I think the girl invites our main character to go to, and again, I have to say think because I'm mad I missed it or whatever, to go to the fireworks fucking festival to see the fireworks together.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, sure. And like he says yes, but doesn't want his boy to know because his boy likes her. And it's just, so it's this love triangle. It's like, okay, cool. Here's this. I'm like, in my head, like, okay, I got the story. It's a love story, and it's a love triangle thing. Mm-hmm. And that's what I thought it was.
Dude, you got it. You nailed it.
And then it wasn't that. It was that in a fucking bag of chips. It was so much more than that.
Well, it started out as that, and it was like, I mean, that's still the story, but like, we're not even going to focus on how it's a love triangle. Instead, we're going to focus on some other shit that we're not going to explain,
as opposed to like developing character and making us care about this, this situation.
Well, that's something that we haven't addressed yet.
Yeah,
is that our main character? He hasn't really said much. He hasn't had any internal dialogue or anything so far. The girl is the most interesting character, because you could tell that she's like thinking about a lot of stuff. It hasn't told us anything that she's thinking about.
Yeah.
But you could tell that a lot's going on in her head, and we don't know exactly what it is. We see her out just alone in a weird place where she finds that marble thing.
Yeah.
And then we see her like kind of sad in class or what's going on. And then she comes to the teacher.
Really detached.
She comes to the teacher and she hands her a note after class that's from her mom. And that's all she says. And then we find out that the mom is saying that she's getting married. So clearly she's upset that her mom is remarrying.
Yeah, and they're moving.
Yeah. And then we find out that she's moving. So like all these little pieces are coming together. And I'm like, okay, so this girl, she has a lot of interesting stuff. And I want to see why she's so upset about this. I want them to explain the relationship between her and her stepdad a little bit more. And just kind of go into more detail. Like, who is her mom in this situation?
Yeah,
Does she like her mom? What's going on? Yeah, I don't get any of that.
No, instead we follow like our main character just kind of fucking his way through the day or whatever.
Fucking his way through the day.
He's just jacking off his way through the day.
Yeah,
and
no, he essentially doesn't do anything noteworthy.
No, and I think he blows off the girl, and he's gonna go with his boys. Because here's the cool thing, and I didn't find this out until like later in the movie. I was like, oh, what the fuck are these guys doing? They get into an argument about whether fireworks, whether they're flat or they're round.
One of them look at them from the side.
One of them's like, no, like they're flat. And I was like, no, fuck, they're round, like they explode. Like, and then this argument, and like, fuck it, we'll go to the fucking lighthouse and we'll see. Like, we'll see who's right. And that's their goal. That's their adventure. They're gonna go do that. And it's like, okay, cool. I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I just like, I must have missed it or whatever. But
they got into a very quick argument about it. Like, we're doing this.
I guess
like,
this is important. Cool.
Yeah. So, and honestly, they hardly fleshed out the friend group either. No, they were like, all right, so this guy has a crush on that girl, and they're the best friends. Okay, cool. And then you got the other guys, and you got the weird, like, kind of nerdy one, and he's fine, he's chill, he's kind of dorky and fun. And then we got the other one who's just like a fucking horn dog. Yeah. And then we have some other dude, whatever.
Yeah, some last guy. Yeah. So they, I think in the first one, like, they're gonna go to the thing, and they're gonna find it. And he runs into the girl, and she has like a suitcase, and she's wearing, I don't know what it's called, but she's wearing one of those like those traditional like dresses or whatever.
I'm gonna say the name of it, and I'm gonna look it up, and then I'm gonna tell you the actual name of it. It's called a yukata.
Maybe. Yeah, she's wearing one of those things, and they have a conversation, blah blah blah, all this stuff, and then she like leaves, and she comes back, and she's like being chased by her mom. And it's like really, like, it's really intense out of nowhere. And like, she's like pulling her, and it's obvious, okay, she was running away, right? Because her suitcase opens up, and like, there's like, all her clothes are out, and the mom takes her away. And then our homie finds the marble, and for some reason, I think he beats the shit out of his friend first, right? He attacks his friend. Really.
Do you know why?
No, did you?
Apparently we both missed it.
It felt
pretty unprovoked.
Yeah, it felt very unprovoked. Maybe he said something like, what a dumb bitch or whatever, to make the other guys laugh or whatever. Yeah. But he just starts wailing the fuck out of his friend.
Yeah. He tackles him, punches him in the face, and then goes off. He's just like, whatever, who gives a shit?
And then he throws the marble and says like, if only I would have done this. If only I would have won the race or whatever. Like the race that they've had earlier in the pool. And then like we see this visual thing, and like the fucking the marble turns on and the big
and then you see that the coils that are inside of it, they activate some shit. Yeah, it spells if, and we're like, okay, that's got to mean something.
And then we see like time go backwards. Like, oh, cool. And I think I made this joke earlier. I was like, oh, it's just a girl through leapt through time thing, you know? Because like it was like a round little ball or whatever. Yeah. And it was. It's essentially, it's like, oh, it's okay, like, cool. It's not just a love triangle story. It's a love triangle story, and it's also a Groundhog's Day kind of thing.
And then you're like, yeah, I feel that. I'm into it.
But kind of, because it doesn't start at the very beginning. It just starts from where the last thing that he wanted to do. So he goes back to where the race is. He wins the race this time. She tells him like something, and then, you know, the story kind of evolves from here, whatever. So things that happened in the past don't happen. Like he doesn't go to the doctor because he doesn't have to fix his leg. You know, he doesn't run into her in the streets, her running away. Essentially, they sneak away from his house on his bike from his best friend.
Yeah.
And then the movie just kind of progresses, and it just keeps going in this pattern. Essentially, like they'll go a certain length into doing stuff, whatever, talking, and then the mother shows up, takes him away. He gets the marble, and then goes back through time again. And that's like the rest of the movie. And
yeah, I wanna say right here, you brought up The Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
Yeah,
they were very similar movies in that it was the main character trying to get what the main character wants by abusing his power of going back in time. You have a lot more dilemmas going on in A Girl Who Leapt Through Time because you're seeing the repercussions of her actions. In this, we don't see any kind of bad effect. There's like no reason that he shouldn't be going back in time because he's trying to help, and it's not affecting anyone else in really a negative way other than his bro that happens to have a crush on this girl.
Yeah, and that, like again, like I think the character development was just so lacking in this thing.
It really
that,
was.
That it made it really impossible for me to really care about these people. To be like, oh man, like I get it. The girl's sad, she's moving away. She cares about this boy. You know, she said some point like that. She's just doing what her mother did because her mother, she's a product of like of infidelity. She's like from her second marriage after she got married. So she's like, I'm a bad girl just like my mom. I was like, yeah, okay, but you know, none of this means anything. This is all it's all bullshit. Like
not only everything leading up to but like, okay, so we see that she's distant. She clearly has something wrong. And then she's like being more playful with her friends because she feels at ease. And then you could just see her like kind of freeing up when she's around her friends. But I never once felt like she's trying to rebel when she was with them. So that was just something that she told us, which like, whatever, like, show us why she's rebelling or whatever.
Don't be like, I'm doing this because my mom did it. Like,
and then they went ahead and never told us why she's mad at her mom or why she's mad at the stepdad. I mean, and we kind of see that they're like overbearing, but and they're kind of assholes. But we don't know the full story of everything.
Exactly.
They clearly don't give us much. They don't really care. But in The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, I feel like they made me care about each time she went back. I wanted to see her improve upon things.
Or fix things or like correct her mistakes,
But in this one, it's like, all right, we're getting the same exact scene. Oh, cool. They changed the dialogue a little bit. Oh, cool. They're kind of changing stuff. All right, now we get a new sequence. Nice. Oh, no, we're going back. Okay. We're seeing all the same shit for a little bit here. It's exactly the same. Nothing's different.
Yeah.
Oh, they just changed it slightly, but it's still pretty much the same. So I just didn't care about rewatching it. I was so invested in The Girl Who Leapt Through Time because you're like, okay, she's got a lot of personality. She's handling each situation differently. You could see how much she's thinking about things, and you hear a lot of like what she's saying with her friends. And when it shows her like going back over and over to try to fix this one scenario and finding like the right way, instead of like sending us through, okay, rewatch the scene leading up to it, they're just like, here's a quick clip of what didn't work. Here's another one that didn't work. Here's the one that did work. And here are kind of the effects of that.
Yeah.
In this, it was just like, yeah, rewatch it. Fuck you.
Yeah. And a lot of it, like I said, it was barely changed. It was just like, it was the bare minimum. You're like, cool. So I guess this is like it was like a bad version of A Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
By the way, I'm shitting on it a lot. This movie's fine.
It's fine.
I just want to say it's fine.
It's like it's visually pleasing for the most part. Like it looks fine.
The visuals are great.
The audio is okay. The issue is just like I don't care about it. Like you know, it's not changing. It's not like game changing. It's not like a brand new thing. It's a very I mean. You know, for me to be able to guess like this is what's going to happen jokingly and to be right, be like, oh wow, like okay, cool. You know, if there's just better versions of this out there. There's better love stories, there's better love triangle stories, there's better, you know, time travel stories, there's just better Groundhog's Day stories. They're just better ones out there than this one. So like, if they're not going to try, I shouldn't. I mean, why do I care?
And the way that they were advertising this is, from the producers
of your name, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, holy shit, that's like a big thing to say. But also, every time they say the producers, like, producers don't give a fuck. They're like, sure, that'll be successful
Their
enough. All right, go for it.
Yeah.
And like at that point, when you already have a name on something, it's like, oh shit, that's great. Like I remember that Cloverfield was doing that.
For the producers of J.J. Abrams or whatever, right?
Yeah. Like J.J. Abrams was the producer, so that's happening. Okay, cool, whatever. And they do that for a lot of things. Like they did that with Steven Spielberg. They would throw his name on stuff.
Produced by Steven Spielberg. Like, was it directed by or written by him? No, but it was produced by him. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, from the producer of this successful thing. It's like, all right, producers don't matter, but people see the name. They don't care. They don't know enough about it. They get
blinded by it.
Yeah, exactly. So this is one of those situations where it was done like that, but
it's just misleading, essentially. Like I was expecting just something better or different, and it was just like, nah, it's just kind of the same. And,
all right, so what happens at the end? Like,
okay, so the end part is essentially like they go into some weird like realm, and this isn't like me like being a shitty at describing it. They literally go into some weird globe,
and the way that it happens is the marble gets into the hands of the drunk fireworks guy, and he shoots it up into the sky with fireworks, and it explodes the crystal ball time marble thing.
Yeah, but
then it creates another universe.
No, that's actually before they're in this universe. Mm-hmm. They're like there's in this weird pod thing, or whatever, and they've dropped the marble, and the guy blows it up, right? And it's massive. It's like no longer a tiny marble. Like it's just this big old thing. Mm-hmm. And while they're inside of it or whatever, or in this weird realm thing, and they blow it up, and then the thing fragments and it creates little shards, right? And like it shows different time periods, like to different people.
Possibilities of,
and everybody's seeing these different possibilities and blah blah blah, this stuff, yada yada. And our main character sees one of him and the girl like escaping to a different city. It's not explained where. I'm assuming Tokyo because they keep saying, "No, we're going to Tokyo or Osaka or whatever." And then they kiss, and it's like, "Oh, that's super sweet."
Well, they don't just kiss.
What do they do? In the globe thing, in the shard, they do kiss, and then like the girl sees other things, and they're just all seeing stuff that makes them really happy, and the boys who are like their friends are confessing things and yelling things out loud. Everybody's
that was the sweetest part of the film. I thought we got to see all their personalities shine brightest in this very short moment.
Yeah,
where I don't know, they had like I'm gonna say probably like 20 at most lines of dialogue throughout the whole movie, and I feel like they had more personality than the main characters just from their confessions right here.
For sure, yeah. Like they like one yells that he likes the girl, the main character, right? The girl, and then another one also yells that I also like her. I've liked her.
I was like, wait, where the fuck this come from? And I thought that was fucking funny.
He's like, I've liked her since the first year or whatever. And then one yells like, oh, I like the teacher, right?
Yeah.
And then the last one yells some random name, and I was like, I don't even know who the fuck it was. Like,
exactly.
Perfect.
It's probably like an anime something or other.
Yeah. And okay, so the girl is they're like the shard exploded. She's in the water. He jumps in after her in the water, and they share like a kiss underwater.
Yeah,
like a very, very fantastical kiss. Like it's very dream sequency. It's very unrealistic because like they're down there for a while.
Yeah, like at least 2 minutes,
and they're talking and stuff. I'm like, okay, they'd be dying or whatever.
Yeah, they're for sure dead.
It's very artsy. This bit is like very like, oh, cool, I get it. Like they're becoming really close. Oh, yada yada. And then she like swims away, and I was like, and then it just cuts to black, right? And I'm like, okay, cool, that's the end. And I was just like, man, fuck this movie. And then there's a little bit more, right? Like there's like, and then we see this really god awful shot of the school, like it didn't bug me until this specific scene. Like
I know, right? Because I was fine. I was like, all right, we could see a little bit of the school.
Yeah.
Essentially, what it is sometimes they show like the different corridors of the school while class is going on, and they just show it empty and whatnot. And it's like, oh, this school looks like really nice or whatever.
Yeah.
So their intention was to do that. They had like a spiral staircase, but it was 3 stories, and it was a very large area.
Unrealistic. I didn't think like I'm like the way it looks like
it looked kind of like 3D, like, and it also looked like nobody would use it.
I'm like, this doesn't look like it's gonna work. This staircase looks broken. Anyways,
I don't see any support beams.
So they show it, and it's just like, ugh. By this time, I was like, I'm done with this thing.
Yeah.
And then the teacher starts doing roll call, and people are saying here blah blah blah, all this stuff. And then I think they say the name of the main character, the boy, like not the girl, right? Because we see the girl's desk is empty, and he doesn't say here, and then we just have like a cut of like just like I don't know outside in like some meadow or whatever. And the movie ends, and that's it.
Finn.
And like we were saying, it's not that it was like a bad movie. It just it wasn't good. Like it wasn't like amazing. It wasn't something that like I'm gonna go out and be like, hey man, you have to see fireworks.
No, it's one of those things where if somebody's like, hey, I'm gonna watch fireworks tonight. Like, did you like it? And I'm like,
no,
it's fine. You're gonna watch it. It's like there are better things to see, but you're not gonna like waste your time per se. You're just gonna kind of want to watch The Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
Yeah, no, exactly. There's bits in this fucking movie that I really enjoyed. Like there's stuff and that are just kind of that also seem kind of odd. Like there's a point where like the main character fights the stepdad. Like the stepdad punches this main character in the face,
and we're just like, what the fuck?
I thought it was super funny. I was like, yeah, like you ever just want to punch a fucking child in the face? So, you know,
like somebody else's kid.
Like hits the fucking shit out of him too. I was like, oh my god, knocks him down, and I thought that was super funny.
Yeah,
I also thought it was super funny that like, you know, even though like he was always trying to escape the mom and dad. That makes sense, right? But they would always also run into his friends, and the friends would always discover what's going on. I was like, no matter what you do, man, your homie's gonna find out you're trying to fuck his chick. You know,
that's what happens.
And but then there's one point where like I don't know where they were at. Maybe they were on top of a lighthouse or whatever. But the homie, like the other friend, the friend who is, you know, likes this girl but doesn't want to tell her yet or whatever, sees the two of them and he runs after them like while he's about to throw the marble, and he knocks them off this thing and they fall out of the sky or whatever.
Like, holy shit, I could not imagine trying to kill my friend right then.
That was murder. I was like, oh my god, you just murdered your best friend.
It all worked out though because luckily he had the time marble and threw it straight into the water.
I just thought that was super funny because I was like, wow, like imagine he didn't have that. You just killed your best friend and your love interest or whatever, the person that you had a crush on. So that's super shitty.
Yeah.
No, man. For the most part, I don't think I'd ever see this again. I don't think there's anything really too redeeming about it. You know, again, it's not bad. Like I've seen way worse things. You know, like I've seen, you know, fucking GG Men's Party. Like I've seen.
Hey man, if I watched this alone, I probably wouldn't have had a good time with it.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I was watching it with you, and we got to make some jokes throughout the whole thing. Like, hey, man, you ever just want to punch a kid in the face? Like, you know, we just get to go off on these tangents. Or like, oh, yeah, I remember, you know, when I was in high school, all I did was talk about boobs. I don't think I had a conversation about anything other than boobs. Like,
yeah, no, the thing is, we made it, we had a good time with it. But, but at no point was like our attention solely on this movie. Like,
no.
And that's the thing. Like, if something's really good, you don't want to do anything but be like, you know, absorbed by it and be like engrossed by it and just like be focusing on it. Like when I see movies that are like, I can't look away, that's a good movie, you know? And this wasn't that, you know, I'd look down at my phone, I would talk to you, we would make jokes.
I had a lot else going on. Yeah. I mean, I've always been the kind of person that I'm like, I need to give this movie a fair chance. I need to watch as much as I can. The only time I'll talk to somebody else during a movie is if there's something that I want to say about like, oh shit, like that was a really cool thing that they did, or like appreciate it. Or make fun of it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the asshole in the movie theater that's making fun of it. So watching this at home, I'm so glad I didn't go to the movies and see this because we couldn't see it during the summer, like we said earlier in the episode. And I'm happy we didn't see it.
Imagine if we would have saw it in theaters and like people around it are just like eating that shit up. Like, it's amazing. Like,
well, you know that they would because it's the United States premiere or whatever. And
we would have been there. And I don't think, I would like to think that we would have been caught up and we would have been impartial and been like, not like blinded by the fact that it's the premiere, we're the first ones to see it or whatever. We could have been like,
well, we definitely wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Because I went to go see that one. Fucking, oh my God. I'm so upset that I don't remember the name of it.
Is it the Pokemon movie?
No.
I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to watch.
No, it was during Anime Expo. I went to go see Liz and the Bluebird and it was fucking great.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got to go see that other movie after it, the lesbian one, but I can't remember what it was called.
She and Her Cat.
No, it was definitely not called that.
It's a good one though.
Yeah, it's not a good lesbian one, but it is a good one.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
It was also about like two people who fell in love or whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it wasn't connected to that other series.
Not at all.
What was that called?
Yeah, I don't know. We could look it up. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I went to go see that one and people around me were fucking loving it. Meanwhile, I'm like, I mean, this is just like a cute lesbian movie about a couple of girls that happen to fall in love with each other, but it's nothing substantial. It looks pretty visually, like it looks pretty good. The characters are fine. There just wasn't any extra detail to it that I liked. It just felt like a really, really basic love story. Nothing to overcome, nothing extra. It was just like, here's two girls that are in love with each other and we get to kind of explore their newfound relationship that it's not something that's common in Japan yet. So it's good for Japan to make a pretty good looking and like overall it was cute. It was fine. I just didn't really care about it. So I feel like if I went to go see fireworks when it first came out, I wouldn't have been swept up at all, because I wasn't swept up with this when I heard people next to me just like, and then afterwards they're just like, I cried so much during that movie. And I'm like, really? Because like not really any parts of it made me want to cry. They just got into a couple of little tiffs with each other and had to work some stuff out, talk some shit out, as lesbians do, because they're just normal people and that's how we all do it. I feel like fireworks wouldn't have done it. You gave up? You done?
No, I mean, I thought I had it, but it was just like, it's something about a blue flower. I don't think that's right.
Makia or whatever? Okay.
Oh, do you want me to look again?
No, I'm going to look it up now. You talk about shit.
So,
fuck you.
Yeah, no, so I think we could have been impartial about that and been like, yeah, this was still bad, even though we're like in a group of a bunch of people together, like watching something that's never been seen before. Here's one thing I'd like to say. I did like the fact that the main character, who was like the dude or whatever, and the chick weren't the same height. I like the fact that the girl is taller than the boy, because genetically women are taller than guys when because they mature faster or whatever. So when we're in junior high, for the most part, girls are supposed to be taller than guys. Like, that just kind of happens or whatever. And then eventually in high school things kind of flip. So because they're not in high school, they're younger than that. I think they're in middle school or whatever. And I was like, that's a nice touch. I think this is really great, because like I'm like, oh, look at this girl fall in love with the short ass dude, and hopefully he stretches out. And that's just like a really like tiny thing, but I thought like, oh, it's a nice touch. That's a really nice touch.
That was one of the few things where it's like, oh man,
they put some thought into this. They didn't just like shit out some bullshit thing, and then they did shit out a bunch of bullshit things,
as they always have to.
Did you find it up?
I'm working on it.
Well, I don't really have much to say, man. Like, I'm pretty done with this.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I'm just excited that we got to see this thing after such a long time. We finally got to see something that we had been wanting to see for a while,
even though it wasn't. I mean, can it live up to expectations, especially if we didn't know what it was going to be up?
Yeah.
No, true. I don't think so. But you know what did bum me out, though? This was produced by the guy that did Your Name. Not even close. Ugh. Okay, man. Well, that's the show. Next week, we're doing that movie that we also don't know what it's about. What's it called again? Mirai.
It means future.
I thought it was going to be about... I thought we were watching the Penguin movie, but apparently that movie's called Penguin Highway or some shit like that, which makes more sense. So yeah,
that's my favorite part about it. Yeah.
So we're going to be reviewing that. So we're super stoked for that. If you like our logo, hit up Aaron from TurbyTops.com. If you like our theme song, check out Tom Nasser on YouTube and SoundCloud. Trip, where can people find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Just look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. If you want to send us a tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast benefit.
And you can go ahead and shoot us an email at instantramepodcast@gmail.com. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us how we're looking. Tell us about who we are as people. I want to know what you guys think of me.
How about you? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't care. So if you want to tell me, that's fine. But Trip cares apparently. So
yeah, I just, I love you guys. And I want to know if you hate me.
I hate you.
I know that.
I can't stand your fucking...
Hey, you can tell me whatever the fuck you want to tell me.
Piece of shit.
It's fine.
Okay, man. Well, this is bye from Juan.
This is bye from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water. I'm going to find that fucking movie.
You found
really
it?
Quick.
It's about lesbians.
Yeah. AX movie premieres.
Oh, yeah, you should go to the AX thing.
I'll find it. And then actual premieres and screenings. I'm gonna find it really quick here. See schedule when available. Let's see here. Here. Past premieres. None of these. Okay. This is weird. Other schedules? No, I don't want to see other ones. Wait. I'm getting there. He's coming. He's coming in. Is it Zach Bell? It's not Zach Bell. Fuck. It's never Zach Bell. This is a lot harder to figure out than I thought it would be. I thought it would just be like, here you fucking go, you fucking idiot. Enjoy. I wish I could remember anything in my life. Premieres at Anime Expo 2018. Flavors of Youth. We reviewed that on an episode of the old podcast show that we do all the time. Ah, yes. Kaze-san and Morning Glories. The easiest thing to remember. That was the thing.
Was it worth it?
Kaze-san and Morning Glories. I'm a genius.